Tina is cleaning outside the company when the boss walks by. She calls out to him, "Hey boss!" The boss looks at her and says, "How are you, Tina? What's going on?" Tina smiles and says, "Sir, thank you so much. My husband is almost fully recovered. I want to return the money you lent me." The boss politely replies, "You don't need to return this money. Just give it to your husband so he can buy some nutritious food." Tina insists, "Boss, you've already done so much for us. Please take this money back." She takes out some cash from her pocket and says, "Here you go, boss. This is the 600 you gave me." The boss looks surprised and says, "600? Tina checks the money again and says, "Yes, boss, it's 600. The boss is left shocked. A while earlier, Linda walks into the office and says, "Sir, you called me?" The boss politely replies, "Yes, that's right. Linda, I remember some time ago there was a fire at the restaurant across from our company. Our cleaner, Tina's husband, rushed into the fire to save people. Do you know about that?" Linda nods and says, "Yes, I do. He saved 3 people, 2 adults and 1 child. He was seriously injured while saving them." She continues, "Yes, sir, Tina mentioned she wants to take a few days off to cover her husband's medical expenses." The boss says with admiration, "That's admirable. He's truly brave. Here's what we'll do. I've prepared 50,000 yuan. You personally deliver this to her and tell her to take some time to rest. She shouldn't worry about the company. We'll support her." Linda, surprised, says, "Yes, sir, don't worry. I'll personally make sure she gets it. You're really very kind." The boss says, "All right, you may go." As Linda walks out, she mutters to herself, "This boss is really foolish." Linda then goes into Michael's office and says, "Mr. Michael." Michael smiles and says, "Well, what's going on? Why are you carrying so much money?" Linda explains, "Our cleaner, Tina's husband, was injured while saving people. The boss gave me 50,000 yuan to pass on to her. Then she secretly sets aside some money and says, 'Here's 5,000. You give this to her.'" Michael smiles and says, "Got it. I'll make sure it gets to her." After some time, Michael approaches Tina and says, "Hey, listen." Tina turns around and says, "Yes, what is it?" Michael lies and says, "Tina, you don't need to work anymore. The company isn't doing well and you're being let go. Here's 600 yuan. The boss sent this for your husband." Tina, upset, says, "Mr. Michael, I've always done my job well. Why am I being fired?" Michael responds harshly, "Don't talk to me about it. This is the boss's decision." He hands her the money and walks away. Present time. The boss becomes suspicious and says to Tina, "Come to my office in 10 minutes. We need to talk." After a while, the boss calls Linda into his office alone and investigates the situation. Out of fear, Linda confesses everything. The boss then calls Michael and says, "Come to my office right now." Soon, Michael arrives and says, "Boss, what's going on?" The boss says firmly, "Linda gave you 5,000 and you only passed on 600. Michael nervously replies, "Boss, she's just a cleaner from a rural background. Even 600 is more than enough for her." At that moment, Tina enters the office and says, "Boss, I'm here." Michael snaps at her, "Stay quiet." The boss then shouts at both Michael and Linda, "It's people like you who are ruining this company. I gave you 50,000 and Tina only received 600. Have you no sense of decency? Has all humanity disappeared from you?" He continues, "Good thing I found out in time. Pack your things right now and leave my company immediately."